Hamilton pulls out a mega lap to take sprint pole. Verstappen's future has been sealed as Mercedes rumors calm down and Carlos defends Hamilton after radio drama. Do consider subbing. Let's get into the latest F1 news. Lewis Hamilton has once again proven himself to be a fierce competitor. This time, he's made headlines by taking his first sprint pole position as a Scuderia Ferrari driver, setting the stage for an exciting Chinese Grand Prix. In a thrilling sprint qualifying session in Shanghai, he edged out title rival Max Verstappen, clinching the prized grid slot with a narrow margin of just 0.018 seconds, while also setting a new lap record for the circuit. In what many had expected to be a McLaren-dominated show, Hamilton and his Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc turned the tables on Friday afternoon. The anticipation was high as fans awaited the first glimpse of this season's competitive edge, and the Ferrari duo did not disappoint. As the drivers prepared for sprint qualifying, the atmosphere was electric at the Shanghai International Circuit. After an hour of practice, it was time for action. The drivers lined up at the pit lane and the countdown began. Kimi Antonelli was the first to hit the track on the mandatory medium Pirelli tires. Initially, Max Verstappen led the pack, showcasing his prowess. However, Hamilton quickly made his mark, putting the Ferrari in the spotlight. Charles Leclerc followed closely behind, demonstrating the strength of the Ferrari team. Meanwhile, the McLarens were not far behind. Oscar Piastri initially set a blistering pace with a time of 1:31.7, but Lando Norris faced a setback due to a mistake that left him in 5th place. As the session progressed, Fernando Alonso surged into 2nd place, just 4/10 behind the leading times. Yet, it was Hamilton who stole the show by submitting a late lap that secured his position at the top. Unfortunately, several drivers found themselves eliminated, including Jack Doohan, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hülkenberg, and Liam Lawson. The Red Bull driver expressed his disappointment, citing difficulties in getting his tires to perform. With the sprint qualifying wrapped up, questions loomed large about the upcoming Grand Prix. Would McLaren manage to reclaim their dominance? What strategies would teams employ based on the flexi-wing gap effect? The drama of the weekend was just beginning, and fans eagerly awaited the next chapter of this electrifying season. In stark contrast, Carlos Sainz faced disappointment as he exited in SQ2, unable to advance further in the session. It was a reminder that in Formula One, every second counts, and the competition remains fiercer than ever. Lewis Hamilton's record-setting performance not only solidified his place on the grid, but also reignited the rivalry with Verstappen. As we gear up for the Chinese Grand Prix, the stakes have never been higher, and the excitement is palpable. The weekend promises to deliver intense battles, unexpected twists, and the chance for underdogs to rise and shine. Buckle up as we dive deeper into the thrilling world of Formula One. In the final moments of sprint qualifying, the tension was high. Lewis Hamilton, the seasoned pro, made a stunning appearance on the track, swapping to soft Pirelli tires and setting a blistering lap time of 1:30.846, seizing provisional pole position. With Oscar Piastri hot on his heels, Piastri had earlier clocked in a 1:30.929, but couldn't improve his time during the final minutes. As the clock ticked down, Lando Norris faced a disheartening setback. A mistake during his lap relegated him to 3rd place, further fueling the competition among the top contenders. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen, looking to steal the spotlight, couldn't mount a challenge strong enough to unseat Hamilton. The results from the Chinese GP's sprint qualifying showcased the fierce competitive spirit of these drivers. Hamilton's record lap placed him firmly at the top. Following him was Verstappen, just a whisker away, and Piastri in 3rd, highlighting the close-knit nature of the race, as a mere 0.080 seconds separated them. This sprint qualifying session signifies an intense race ahead, with Hamilton leading the charge and rookies battling fiercely for glory. As we anticipate the main event, fans are left wondering what surprises and rivalries will unfold in this thrilling context of speed, strategy, and precision. Stay tuned as we're set to witness the next chapter of this heart-stopping Formula One season. In the world of Formula One, tensions are running high as Jos Verstappen, the father of reigning champion Max Verstappen, takes a stand against McLaren CEO Zak Brown. Recently, Brown stirred the pot by suggesting that he's betting Max will leave Red Bull for Mercedes at the end of the season. This claim didn't sit well with Joss, who accused Brown of trying to create unnecessary drama. Max's impressive legacy, having won 4 consecutive titles, is now facing challenges. Red Bull's performance has been inconsistent, both on and off the track. Last season, the team faced significant hurdles. They parted ways with design maestro Adrian Newey and struggled with crucial car development decisions. Additionally, team principal Christian Horner dealt with legal issues, although he's since been cleared. Despite these setbacks, Max managed to break his 10-race winless streak in Brazil before securing his title in Las Vegas, navigating through a tough final stretch with only 2 wins in the last 13 races. This dip in performance raised questions about his future with Red Bull, especially given that he was now seen as the hunted in the driver's standings for the first time in over 1,000 days. Verstappen's performance in the opening qualifying session of the recent season was lackluster, placing 3rd, especially notable as his main competitor, McLaren, showcased superior speed. In the Brazilian wet race, he miraculously climbed from 17th to finish 1st. However, the latest race brought disappointment as he finished 2nd, benefiting only from a mistake made by his rival Oscar Piastri. Brown's comments intensified speculation about Verstappen's future, claiming that the countdown was on for him to exit Red Bull. He boldly predicted that Max would switch to Mercedes, fueling the frenzy among fans and analysts alike. According to Brown, other teams, including Aston Martin, are in the mix, particularly with Adrian Newey involved, though he emphasized that a strong culture and support are essential for success, which can't be built overnight. As the F1 season unfolds, all eyes will be on Max Verstappen to see what choices he makes amid the swirling rumors. Will he remain loyal to Red Bull or heed the calls of competing teams? As Just Verstappen calls out Zak Brown for his provocative statements, the drama in the paddock continues to build, making the upcoming races even more intriguing. This isn't just about racing, it's a battle for reputation, legacy, and the future in Formula One. Stay tuned to see how this saga plays out as tensions rise and the competition deepens. If I had to place a bet, I'd go with Mercedes. Over the past decade, they've dominated the championship, securing victories 7 or 8 times. Even last year, they clinched 5 races, showcasing their stability in an ever-changing sport. Toto Wolff, the team principal and co-owner, clearly has confidence in their engine department, particularly as we approach the new engine regulations next year. There's speculation about George Russell being out of contract at the end of this season, with Kimi Antonelli possibly stepping into a series of 1-year deals. This situation adds more layers to the strategic moves Mercedes might make. However, not everyone is buying into McLaren's rising momentum in comparison to Red Bull. Max Verstappen has openly acknowledged that McLaren appears quite far ahead as Red Bull struggles. This admission raises eyebrows, especially considering the ongoing rivalry. Red Bull's response to comments about Verstappen's abuse of his engineer on team radio has been equally noteworthy. Hamilton highlighted Verstappen's intense conversations with his engineer over the years, which have sometimes bordered on abusive. In this high-pressure environment, every word can escalate tensions between competitors. It's fascinating to see how these dynamics unfold, especially when moments like today's fast-paced news cycle in Formula One keep fans on their toes. Eddie Jordan has described Formula One as a rock and roll spectacle, contrasting it with other racing events. In this world where excitement is key, the narrative isn't just about winning races, it's about the stories, the rivalries, and the personalities behind the wheel. As we look ahead, the stakes are higher than ever. Each team is strategizing, each driver is preparing, and the audience is eagerly anticipating what's next in this exhilarating motorsport saga. Make sure to keep an eye on the developments as they unfold, because in Formula One, the drama never truly stops. Carlos Sainz is stepping into the spotlight as he prepares for the Chinese Grand Prix, and he's echoing sentiments familiar to fans of Formula One, especially regarding his fellow driver, Lewis Hamilton. Following a challenging weekend at the Australian Grand Prix, Sainz anticipates facing similar struggles with his race engineer, as Hamilton did. specifically in navigating the intricacies of communication and strategy. The recent race was filled with tension, marked by a notable back and forth between Hamilton and his new race engineer, Riccardo Adami. Hamilton frequently expressed his frustrations over the radio, insisting that he needed to drive without the interference of suggestions that didn't seem to align with the race's flow, a plea that resonated with many fans and pundits alike. This dialogue became a focal point of the event, highlighting not only Hamilton's adaptability, but the inherent challenges drivers face when transitioning to new teams and their systems. Much has been written about the learning curves that come with such team changes. Viewers witnessed Hamilton, during his debut race for Ferrari, grappling with the team's operations while trying to establish his rhythm. Critics pointed out moments when both Hamilton and teammate Charles Leclerc exhibited signs of Fürsten Quantestoriales for Tanzadernraiji, describing the exchanges as stroppy. Observations from analysts like Ralf Schumacher and Christian Danner underscored the urgent need for Hamilton to familiarize himself with the Ferrari way of working, suggesting that he should lead the adaptation rather than wait for his new team to adjust to him. Sainz, now in Hamilton's former seat at Ferrari, finds himself in a similar predicament as he ventures into the Williams team. He acknowledges the challenges that come with this daunting transition. It's saying, when questioned about his conversations with his race engineer ahead of the upcoming Chinese Grand Prix, Sainz confirmed that his experiences have mirrored Hamilton's struggles, stating, No, this is the same. It's exactly the same." As Sainz gears up to tackle the next race, he understands that the path to success involves a significant learning curve. Any rookie driver can attest to the fact that the onus is on them to adapt quickly in the high-pressure environment of Formula One, a task made all the more challenging when under the scrutiny of dedicated fans and journalists eager for insights. Navigating the complexities of a new team while trying to perform at the highest level is no easy feat. As the journey unfolds, all eyes will be on Sainz in China, eager to see how he manages his relationship with his engineer and whether he can overcome the hurdles that have affected both Hamilton and others who have faced similar challenges in their journey through the competitive landscape of Formula One. This race weekend promises to be more than just a test of speed. It's an opportunity for drivers like Sainz to learn, adapt, and ultimately evolve as they take on the exhilarating world of motorsport. The key will be to find that balance between trust and assertiveness so that both driver and engineer can work in harmony on the track. With the sights set on Shanghai, fans can undoubtedly expect an exciting show as Carlos Sainz aims to turn lessons learned into a triumphant performance. Carlos Sainz faced a frustrating experience during the Australian Grand Prix, where an unfortunate mechanical failure led to his early retirement from the race. This setback, coming before a single lap could be completed, meant Sainz missed a valuable opportunity to connect and communicate effectively with his engineer throughout the race. Despite being sidelined, Sainz remained proactive. He made his way to the pit wall, where he shared insights on how teammate Alex Albon could strategize his race. This allowed Sainz to witness the race dynamics from a different angle, enhancing his understanding of the team's operations. However, he acknowledged that nothing could replace the first-hand experience of being behind the wheel. Reflecting on the race, Sainz emphasized the need for collaboration and communication. He noted, "We need to review this race and go through it together as if I was driving it." He believes that by sharing perspectives and insights, they could improve their chances in future races. Sainz is focused on turning this missed opportunity into a learning experience. With plenty of races left in the season, he remains optimistic about making an impact on the track. In a surprising turn of events, Lewis Hamilton reached out to rookie Isaac Hadjar following his heartbreaking crash during the race. This gesture highlighted Hamilton's commitment to fostering camaraderie among drivers, particularly for those navigating the challenging environment of Formula One. On the other hand, tensions are brewing within the Red Bull team as Hamilton commented on the abuse Max Verstappen has directed at his engineer over team radio. The mention sparked a reaction from Red Bull, showcasing the tension that can arise in the competitive atmosphere of Formula One. Additionally, as teammate dynamics evolve, Alex Albon noted that he feels a loss of the constant naggingness when Sainz joined the team, suggesting that new partnerships can shift the dynamics within the team. With the 2025 season in full swing, the focus remains on strategic development and adaptability as drivers like Sainz strive to build on their experiences, learning from both victories and setbacks. Max Verstappen, the renowned driver for Red Bull, is targeting an ambitious 5th consecutive title in the 2025 Formula One season. However, he acknowledges a significant shift in the competitive landscape. With Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and their impressive MCL39, the McLaren team has emerged as the dominant force in the field. Verstappen candidly admits that McLaren is quite far ahead in terms of performance, a statement that resonates deeply in the racing community. As the season kicked off, the Australian Grand Prix showcased McLaren's supremacy. They dominated the track, with Norris and Piastri astonishingly qualifying in the top 2 positions. Although Piastri's race ended prematurely due to a gravel mishap, the duo's performance made it clear that Red Bull would need to rethink their strategies. Verstappen managed to clinch 2nd place, but did so with the understanding that he is not equipped to compete at the same level as McLaren. Leading up to the Chinese Grand Prix, media speculation regarding Red Bull's standing against McLaren intensified. Discussions reached a peak when George Russell of Mercedes suggested that McLaren's edge over Red Bull is unprecedented, arguably greater than anything we've seen in recent seasons. When Verstappen was pressed on Russell's claim, he remained cautious, stating it's challenging to make definitive comparisons without having experienced both vehicles firsthand. Verstappen showered praise on McLaren's resurgence, remarking that they have proven to be exceptionally strong and well-rounded. He expressed respect for the team's achievements, both from last year and now, emphasizing how difficult it is to measure the exact performance gap. Acknowledging their formidable standing, he aptly summed up the scenario by saying, "I think that is just a fact." In the midst of this competitive evolution, fans eagerly speculate about the upcoming Chinese Grand Prix and what it holds for these 2 rival teams. Questions abound regarding potential adjustments Red Bull might undertake to close the gap, and if McLaren can maintain their momentum. All eyes will be on these powerhouse teams as the 2025 season progresses, setting the stage for thrilling races ahead. Max Verstappen recently shared his insights on the intense competition in Formula One, particularly highlighting that Red Bull is poised to challenge giants like Mercedes and Ferrari. However, he cautioned that the performance of these teams can vary significantly depending on the circuit. Reflecting on a recent race in Australia, Verstappen expressed that McLaren seemed to have a clear advantage. He added, "I don't think I'm an idiot in the wet, but in the first stint, I didn't really have a lot of chance." His humility shines through as he admits that both he and the Red Bull team executed their strategy well, achieving results that slightly exceeded expectations, especially after Oscar Piastri's mistake on the track. Despite this, Verstappen maintained that they weren't quick enough to clinch a victory. He noted, "There were no regrets or something that was badly judged. We did a good race, but we were not quick enough to win." With the season still in its early stages, he remained cautiously optimistic about Red Bull finding the necessary pace as they approach mid-season. It's a time when teams typically unveil upgrades that could drastically alter their performances. Amid the competitive spirit, tensions flare as Jos Verstappen responded sharply to Zak Brown's comments on a supposed Mercedes bet involving Max. He remained skeptical of outside narratives aimed at stirring controversy. The team dynamics also took center stage when Lewis Hamilton aired grievances about the abuse Verstappen allegedly directed at his engineer during radio communications. This prompted a subtle reaction from Red Bull, illustrating the heated interactions that make Formula One thrilling. As the season unfolds, with rookies navigating the intense pressure and established stars facing fresh challenges, the atmosphere is undeniably electric. Eddie Jordan has also chimed in, calling attention to the colorful personalities that have shaped F1 history. All of this culminates in an anticipation for future races, with the competitive landscape promising excitement and rivalry. As fans, we can only wonder, What adjustments will teams make? And who will emerge victorious as the season progresses? Stay tuned as we follow these incredible narratives in the ever-evolving world of Formula One.